Hello, this is Captain Joel, and welcome to my latest Marvel Puzzle Quest video. In this video, I'm actually going to be going back and giving an analysis on an older character, favorite 4-star character, Iceman from the all-new X-Men. So he's actually been out for a while, and I thought that I'd go back and do some analysis videos on characters that have been out for a while and are actually useful still, even in the current 5-star land. So let's dive right in and see what we can learn about Iceman. First off, he's got the creepiest artwork in the game. I mean, just look at that. What's with those black beady eyes? He has no soul. But anyhow, he's a interesting character. So this is actually related to the all-new X-Men comic series, which is basically the X-Men go back from the original X-Men from many years ago, I guess. Originally the 60s or 70s, go into the future, or rather the present. They're brought there by Beast. So one of the 5 founding members of the X-Men, Bobby Drake's incredible power to manipulate temperature and ice makes him literally the coolest mutant around. Brought forward in time by the present-day Hank McCoy, the teenage Iceman adventures with the original X-Men, learning new things about his new home, his powers, and himself. So I actually like the new X-Men run. Some of it's been a bit annoying, but for example, they just have characters go off on their own and kind of split up. Like Cyclops goes and joins the Starjammers, which is quite possibly the stupidest group in the Marvel Universe. And tons of other weird stuff. You'll have to read it. I overall I think it's a good series. Definitely worth reading. This character is very strong. He's a green, blue, purple character, and he has just under 14,000 health at max level. Now, his green skill is very powerful. So first off, it costs 12 AP. The description is Iceman unleashes a tempest of ice and snow across the battlefield, devastating everything in its path and causing local weathermen to question their credentials. Deals 1300 damage, this is it, 3 covers, to the enemy team, plus 115 damage for every blue tile on the board to a max of 15 tiles. So this is almost no damage. I mean, come on. 1300 damage AoE for 12 plus an extra maybe 1000 from blue tiles, not worth it. Even at 4 covers, he's barely doing any damage. But then it bumps up a lot once you get to 12 covers. It's now 3000 damage AoE plus 269 for every blue tile. So usually you're going to have anywhere from 8 to 10 of a tile on the board unless you're trying to match it. With this, you're actually likely to have even more because of its purple power, which we'll get to in a bit. So let's just say you're going to have around 10 blue tiles on the board. So that's an extra 2700 damage. So you're doing 5700 AoE damage now for 12 AP. So that's a lot of damage. What's even more impressive is when he's boosted. He's able to do something like 12,000 AoE damage. So he's a very useful character, and when boosted, he's able to very easily compete with 5-star characters. Now his next move is Blue Uncanny Snowman. So this is a 2-part move. The first part is called Build a Snowman. Basically, Bobby stuns a target for 4 turns and places a 4-turn countdown tile. While this tile is on the board, this power becomes Punch a Snowman. And Punch a Snowman, Iceman deals, this is at 3 covers, 1173 damage and removes his countdown tiles. And at 4 covers he's doing 3428, and at 5 covers a whopping 8000 damage. That's huge. So he's getting a 4-turn stun for 6 AP, and if he uses this move again for another 6 AP, he's doing 8,000 damage. So first off, the stun alone is incredible. No other character has as powerful a stun this cheap. And the damage, that's a really strong move. And when he's boosted, he's going to be doing around 16,000 damage with 12 AP in addition to his 4-turn stun. So he's going to KO almost any character that's not also boosted and a 4-star or 5-star. So this is a very powerful move. It's probably one of the best moves in the 4-star world. And then his last power, I find myself very rarely using it because there's other purple users that are better, but it's definitely very situational and it can come in handy. First off, so let's read the description. This is called Cold as Ice. Iceman whips around the battlefield on his ice slides, chilling his opponents and making them wish they'd brought a sweater. Transforms, this is at 3 covers, 5 red tiles into blue tiles, then reduces enemy red AP by 3. So there's 2 things it does. One is it's transforming red tiles into blue tiles, and the second is removing enemy red AP. So at 4 covers, you just get to remove 1 extra AP, and at 5 covers you get 2 extra red tiles. So there's not much benefit to having 5 instead of 3 covers. This is handy when you know your opponent is going to be using a red move in the next turn and you can actually stop them. And you can also get additional blue AP for matches to help power Uncanny Snowman and make Whiteout stronger. So he's a self-accelerating character. He's got stun, he's got massive spike damage for single targets, and he's got massive AoE damage. So he's really a triple threat. I think he is definitely one of the top 5 4-stars out currently, and I think he's a great character. Now that we've discussed Iceman alone, let's consider him in terms of who would be the best teammates for Iceman in the current meta. So remember, Iceman is a green, blue, purple character. Now you're definitely going to want to make use of his blue and his green. His purple is not necessary to use him, so it's okay if you bring another character and plan to use their purples. But you should really be relying on Iceman for your green and your blue usage. So in terms of maximizing Iceman, there's a couple different things you can do. First off, for people that are still transitioning into the 4-star realm, and you have your IM40 Iron Man, you can actually make very good use of Iron Man's yellow skill, which creates special recharge tiles, which when they go off, these countdown tiles go off, you get 4 blue AP each with 3 separate tiles, which means you're going to be getting a total of 12 blue AP in addition to 12 red AP. That means that if you get 6 yellow, which is how much his recharge move costs, you can essentially stun an opponent for 4 turns and do 8,000 damage right off the bat, which is potentially enough to kill an opponent that's already been weakened a bit. In addition, you'll be speeding up the use of Whiteout, Iceman's green. So that's a really good combo to have. But what are you going to do with all of that red? Obviously you don't want to be using a 3 stars red move, as powerful as it might be. So I actually like to bring along Nova. Now, if you are going to be using Nova along with IM40, Nova's yellow, although normally I prefer to have it at 5, is no longer going to be useful because you're using AP for Nova Blast rather than using AP for recharge, and you really want to keep those recharges going. So you want to have a Nova that has 5, 3, 5. With this team, you're now able to use Iceman's blue to stun an opponent for 4 turns. You're then able to use his Punch a Snowman blue again, which does 8,000 damage, and then potentially kill an opponent by using Nova's black, which will create a bunch of strike tiles. And then you have Nova's takeoff move, which if there's black strike tiles out, it becomes takeoff and it launches the opponent into the air. So you could essentially almost permanently stun lock your opponents until they're dead using just Iceman, IM40, and Nova. So I'm actually fighting a team much stronger than me. Let's see how possible it is to win. Now remember, I'm going to be fighting a team significantly stronger than my own, and I am only using a 3-star to help. This is to demonstrate just how powerful this team is. The goal generally is to get yellow as quickly as possible, but sometimes better options come up. Once you have yellow, you use recharge and protect those countdown tiles with your life. Of course, sometimes you can't always do anything to protect them. Now unfortunately, I don't think it's worthwhile just stunning one of them at this point. I'm better off trying to save up and knock out everybody at once. And remember, Silver Surfer cannot be stunned. However, he can be sent airborne. So here is my plan. First, I'm going to send Silver Surfer airborne. Next, I am going to build the snowman. And I am going to take out 4S. And just to be safe, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Now, I have a bit of a problem here because I can't damage Silver Surfer that well with this team, so I'm just going to keep sending him airborne for the entire match. Eventually I'll wear him down. It's just a matter of time. As you can see, this is a very effective team, although it does carry some risk due to the lower health. I recommend only using this team if one of the characters is boosted or if you've put significant number of extra covers, champion covers into them. Luckily, I've got a lot of strike tiles at hand, so I can probably take him down. And voila! I successfully took down 2 5-stars and a 4-star with just 2 4-stars and a 3-star. This allowed me to punch significantly above my weight class with this team. If you prefer to use a team of Iceman that's a little bit less soft and risky and has a bit higher health, you can potentially use the Deadpool team. I find this to be a bit less effective, but because of the healing from Deadpool and the feeding from Iron Man, you can keep tons of heals going for Deadpool, and you can keep the stuns coming from Iceman. Alternatively, you can just drop the 3-star act altogether and go for a real 4-star team. I recommend using with Iceman Hulkbuster if you really need to go with a full 4-star team. That way you've got red and black from Hulkbuster, and you've got green, purple, and blue from Iceman. Then the only color you have missing is yellow. Unfortunately, there aren't that many good yellow characters in the 4-star realm right now. Your only options are pretty much Venom, and he's pretty bad. You can use Thing to protect Iceman, but he's pretty bad, and his other active moves conflict with Iceman. You can also use Cyclops, except his blue and red. His blue conflicts with Iceman and his red conflicts with Hulkbuster. So again, not the best option, but you don't really have many choices. So I would probably go with Cyclops most of the time. So overall, I think Iceman's a very useful character. He fills a niche of a character that actually is able to be a jack of all trades and a master of them as well. I think that if you had to pick one 4-star to level, Iceman would definitely be at the top of your list. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and leave comments. And let me know if you want to see more videos like this or something else.